record, Eli. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, we are live on YouTube. How's everybody doing today? It's a beautiful day here in Redwood City, California, where I live. It's about 65 degrees. I'm still bundled up because it gets a little cooler on the trail by the water. And I'm ready to rock it here with you folks. One more time, once again today, however you want to put it. I'm in a very good mood. Hopefully you are as well. Hopefully you've been enjoying this amazing weekend, regardless of where you are at. And you are here because you want positive energy. You want uplifting content. You want to feel amazing, right? Hopefully that's what you're here for, because that's what I do. That's what I do. It's called positive reinforcement. How many of you have heard of the phrase positive reinforcement? I know about half of YouTube probably either hasn't heard of that phrase or doesn't really understand what it means. I'm kind of joking, ha, when I say they don't understand what it means. I'm sure they understand what positive reinforcement means, but a lot of people are just so stuck in depression. A lot of people just are so miserable within themselves. They just hate themselves. And that's the problem, folks. The problem starts within you. Any problems that you encounter in life start within you. It's the truth. Whether you want to hear it or not, whether it sounds stupid or not, it's the absolute freaking truth, right? And today, if you notice in the chat, I did pin the topic, and I also created a poll for this stream that anyone can answer. And that poll was a simple question, probably the most simple question anyone can ask you, but people make it so difficult, right? The question is, do you love yourself? And I voted yes. Obviously, I'm going to vote on my own poll, right? I think Lewis Fuller was in the chat before I went live. He was, and I think he actually put yes, he loves himself. And then, give me a second, a couple people are coming. They're coming that way, so I'm going to leave. I'm going to go back this way. And then, a few moments later, I saw somebody, select no to the question, do you love yourself? And I think I know who selected no and who's probably going to select no a bunch of times. I think that's you, Joe Shipley. Is that you? No, that's Sweet P 1985. Welcome to the show. Nice to see you here. I think I know who selected no, who will probably be selecting no a bunch of times. And here's the thing. This is one of those polls where the trolls cannot skew the results, because the results of this poll were not meant to be skewed. There's no way you can skew it. So this isn't even a poll that the trolls can be honest about, right? So if the trolls are trolling me and they put no to the question, or they select no to the question, do you love yourself? They're only being truthful. That's why they're trolls. No, there's not a troll on the planet that loves themselves, because if they did, they would realize how stupid it is to waste their time trolling instead of creating something great to focus on in their lives, right? Got some people over here, so I'm gonna be quiet here for a second. What a beautiful day. Beautiful day. I feel great. I know this doesn't sound too professional, but I help people in every way possible. I took or left, however you want to put it, a nice number 2 in my toilet right before I came out here, and I gotta tell you, my body feels limber. It feels empty, but I had a little small snack, so I have energy. I had some coffee, and I feel amazing. Just feel amazing. And my sciatica is just almost gone. And once it's completely gone, hopefully within the next month or half month or so, I'm going to share with you folks exactly what I feel caused it on top of a herniated disc, which is healed now and all that. I'm going to share the story. I'm probably going to do an in-studio live stream on that because it's just an interesting story on a certain type of food that I ate. And man, did it clog me up for years. Yeah, that is possible, folks. That is possible, folks. And I think over the next year or two, they say by the time you reach 50, you should have a colonoscopy. You know, where they shove, some medical instruments up your rear end, let's put it that way. And they make sure that everything's all good in the rectum, right? Hey, look, at least I'm trying to use the professional terminology, which is what I'm trying to say. Hey, Lewis Fuller, how you doing, brother? Sweet P 1985 voted yes. Thank you. Sweet P says, hey, Eli, I'll be listening. I'll respond when I can. I'm cooking dinner. Hope you had a great day. I'm having a great day. And no worries. You can just listen. You don't have to always comment. Come and go as you wish. Listen as long as you like. If you get bored, tune into something more interesting. No big deal, but I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, Sweet P 1985. Queen Helen Casey takes the weekends off, so she's out on the Twitter front, tweeting all the latest news, especially the news regarding Russia and the Ukraine. I think this is like day 5 of the war, and the Ukrainian citizens have been empowered by their president to, take certain firearms and stuff and help protect the country. And they're actually doing a pretty good job. I mean, it's amazing. Like people have lost their lives, which it's really, really sad and ridiculous for anyone to lose their life over something as a stupid, fake instigated war like this, in my opinion, right? But the amount of lives that have been lost are nowhere near what the expected was. Right? And that's because in this time of need for Ukraine, the Ukrainian citizens have stood up. And I got to tell you honestly, their president Zelensky, that guy has some balls. I got to tell you, that guy has some major huevos as a man to stand up for this and for his country that he took over a couple years ago, knowing that he's Russia's number 1 target and his family's number 2. When they can't get to you, they get to the people you care for the most, right? Your family, then your friends and all that, right? I look at Vladimir Putin as a super troll here, right? All Putin is a troll, like a troll on YouTube. And he's severely trolling the Ukraine, right? He's like a cyberbully, but in real life, right? I'm surprised my super troll and other trolls haven't created the Vladimir Putin sock accounts. I expect to see those in my chat sometime soon. Where are the Vlad Putin stock accounts? And the Volodymyr Zelensky stock accounts, right? I've mastered this YouTube game, folks. I know how this platform works better than anyone. No, not trying to show up. I understand how it goes out here, right? But in spite of what's happened, I'm really, really proud of how the Ukrainian government is handling this and how their citizens are stepping up to protect their country. The last thing we want is for Russia to take over parts of the Ukraine or all of the Ukraine, right? I don't think the U.S. would allow that, or the other allies of the Ukraine would allow that. I think if somehow the Russians end up taking over any parts or all of the Ukraine, I think it's gonna cause a major war between the Allies and Russia. I think that Russia knows that even if they're successful to take over the Ukraine, this is going to come at a big cost of their country, right? All this is stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It's all about power. It's all about a very insecure dictator of a president in Russia, Putin, that didn't get enough strokes as a little kid, that grew up in poverty, and he's just like he's like a little baby, or a big baby actually, right? That's all it is. That's the truth of the matter. And he's projecting his insecurities onto the Ukraine. Whoa, that was a bird that popped out of there. Wow. The chat. Don't worry, I'll kick their ass if they come in, says Lewis. Yeah, Lewis, you know, my super troll is going to probably come in as Vlad or Vladimir Putin or Volodymyr Zelensky, right? He's in progress of creating those sock accounts right now, Lewis. Hey, Lewis, you know how this game works, right, brother? We just kind of laugh at this crap right now, right, bro? My super troll got so triggered yesterday, Lewis. He's watching right now. He got so triggered because I called him out, right? Without mentioning his name. And I got more thumbs down than usual at the end of the stream. So I know when I get more thumbs down, it's because I talk about him in a roundabout way and it triggers him, right? But what he doesn't realize is that like half of those or more, by the next day, they get removed by YouTube. Because they're coming from the same household, same computer, etc. He doesn't get that. But anyway, it's all good. Maybe he just, you know, just gets the thrill of just clicking on dislike from many different accounts and hoping that they stick or something. And if they don't, he just gets the thrill of having something to do. He's so bored, you know what I mean? He's a bored man, right? But anyway, let me see here. All right. So before we get to the topic here today, folks, and hopefully I don't have that many cutoffs. I know I get a lot of disconnects from this trail. It seems to be good so far, but it just all depends on the atmospheric condition, etc., in certain parts, right? So just bear with me. Before I get to the topic here today, which is it's a very, very important one, I want to just mention a few things regarding my lady. And I mentioned some things yesterday as she was going through some things that I didn't get into too much detail. And the same goes for today. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I will say that my lady is fine. She did have a life-changing experience yesterday. I'm gonna put that out there and let you folks think about what that life-changing experience is. No, we're not breaking up. No, she's not mad at me. I'm not mad at her. It's actually brought us closer together. If we weren't already close together enough. And it's above. All right. I should be back. Lewis says the trolls, they are nothing but a bunch of brainless jerks on the internet. That's true. Well, they're also very insecure, immature, mentally and emotionally unstable, right? They don't love themselves, right? I mean, Lewis, we can go on and on and on about it, right? But, you know, we'd be wasting our time from creating our great content that truly helps people that are really open to the help, right? Good people that are very reasonable and down to earth and secure within themselves and mature and mentally and emotionally stable and sound. Happy people, right? Trolls are miserable, Lewis. You know, they're just miserable. They're just projecting their misery in digital style on the internet. I triggered my super troll because I was saying, well, dude, why don't you come on camera and show your face? Why don't you troll showing your face and using your real name? I'd have a lot more respect for you, right? I show my name and face every day. Well, on these mobile streams, I can't because I don't have, the software to do it like I do in the studio. But my channel has my real name on it. Coach Eli, Elias Melas. I live in Redwood City, California. All right? Here I am. Here's my real face, and it's my voice, and you can see my lips moving as I'm talking. I'm live. I just honestly think that any man that trolls on the internet and hides behind the computer, not mentioning or showing his face or real name, is a sissy. Right? And here's the honest thing, Lewis. I'll say this again today. Like the more and more this guy gets triggered and thumbs me down, the more views he gives me too, right? Now, some of those may get taken away, right? The views actually don't get taken away, but the thumbs down, they do. So it's just helping me get more views. It's more so going to help me to trigger the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, so yeah, my lady actually, like I was saying before I got cut off, my lady had a life-changing experience yesterday. She's okay, everything's good. And I'll just put it to you folks this way. I'm really, really happy. And I'm just really happy that what happened yesterday to my lady was not a big deal. I wouldn't say it wasn't a big deal, but it could have been worse. Let's put it that way. You folks can put two and two together. I'm not going to mention this right now, what happened. And I talked with her before we went live today, or before I went live today, for about an hour and a half. And I'm really proud of her. I saw a complete attitude shift. My lady has dealt with a lot of trauma in her life. She has a lot of friends and family and a good guy like me, right? She's got a lot of love and all that, right? But a lot of women, they hold on to a lot of resentment, and they have a lot of traumatic experiences in their life where even if they have everything, they're just not happy within themselves, right? And a lot of women struggle with that. Some men do too, but more so women, because women are more emotional beings, right? Men handle these situations of not loving themselves in different ways. Now, some men act like women and they get really depressed. Other men just say, oh, whatever, it is what it is, right? And then some other men follow content like mine, or some other men and women follow content like mine and learn what it takes to love yourself and turn things around. So that's a little bit about, that was just a foot tall jackrabbit that, is that a squirrel? No, I think that's a squirrel. Just hopped over the trail. Let me come over here as a person coming, so I want to wait for them to pass on by before I pass on by. They're on the opposite side of the trail. They're like walking on the left side, like in England, right? Here in the U.S., we walk and drive on the right, and we pass on the left. Oh, well. Let me check out the chat here real quick. Sweet P1985 says, I bet she got a promotion. That's a pretty life-changing experience. Nope, it wasn't that. I use my real name on my channel. Yeah, I know you do, Lewis. I know you do. I respect you for that, and you show your face too, right? But again, I'm not going to share any more regarding what my lady experienced. I did talk with her today, and when this is all said and done, because there are some things that she's going to accomplish over the next several months, things she's going to work on, and once all of those things are said and done, depending on where my channel is at that point, if it still hasn't reached a level of, 25 to 50K subs, if it has, I may just bring her on camera, and at that point it won't matter if people know who she is, because we'll have more protection from YouTube. It'll be a bigger channel. But even if the channel hasn't grown that much or when that happens, which is what I'm trying to say, even if the channel hasn't grown that much, when this comes up, we're going to do a pre-recorded audio only interview, and she's going to share her story, because her and I together really want to help as many people that are struggling or have struggled with the same thing that she struggled with, and we'll get into more detail regarding that, in the months ahead when this happens. And, I'm not going to push her to do it. She's been open to doing whatever. She believes in my work, and I appreciate that. But I'm sure at that point, when, all of this that she's going to be doing to turn things around, and she feels even so much more better about herself, she's going to want to tell the world. She's going to want to show off how she turned her life around in an amazing way. And she's not a bad person, don't get me wrong, but she's going through some things. And there's a lot more. I'm just not going to mention it right now, because, hey, we got to keep people wondering. And I also want to respect her wishes and her family's wishes and all of that, during this time. And then when everything sorts itself out, which I know it will within a few months or so, at that point it'll be the right time. Everybody will be more happy. The changes and the turnaround is going to be amazing. I just know it. I have a lot of faith in this woman. She's a strong woman. And I got to tell you, I think my woman has like 9 lives. You know what, babe? If you're watching right now, I don't know if you're watching or not. You can send me a text. I'll get it after the show. I think this woman has 9 lives, because, man, this woman just keeps on taking a beating. Not from me. I'm not abusive or anything like that. This woman just keeps on taking a beating, and she keeps on ticking. And it just blows my mind how strong this woman is. She's literally like 5'6" or so, almost 5'7", about 110 pounds. She's a tiny thing. Just blows me away. Impressive. I'm proud of her. I'm really proud of her. So, down the road, that will more than likely happen. Oh man, there are some geese on the other side. I'm gonna come over here for a second. Let's see if we can get the geese. Uh-oh, they stood up because they saw me coming, right? There they are. Beautiful. I think it's the husband and the wife. Yeah, all right. All right. All right, quit trailblazing, Eli, and get back on the trail. That's why I wear my hiking boots. You never know when you have to go trailblazing. Plus, hiking boots give you better stability, even on a dirt path. I recently purchased for the first time some trail runners, which would work perfectly for this trail, but trail runners are not really the best for going trailblazing. I've dated some women in the past that would wear trail runners even on some extensive hiking trails. And the purpose of trail runners are for trails like this, as long as you stay on the dirt trail. Another gentleman just passed me by. He's getting a nice jog, and it looks like a couple squirrels just ran out in front of him, and now they're hopping the fence. All right, folks, let's get right to it. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition. Live from the San Francisco Bay. I'm back, Sweet Pea 1985. If you heard that, I'm back, Sweet Pea 1985. It's all good, I'm back. It's just the atmospheric conditions out here. All right, once again, welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition. This is episode number 265. So not 265, 235. 235. And like I was saying, I've done over 30 of these in less than 2 months in the new year. I've been really stepping it up, and a lot more to come. Episode number 300 of these Walking with Purpose live streams will probably happen shortly before summer or during the summer. Welcome back, Coach. Well, thank you. Sweet Pea 1985. Welcome back to you as well. Too bad you don't have a Wi-Fi repeater on your phone. Well, Lewis, it has nothing to do with that. I mean, there are great cell towers out here in Redwood City, California. The cell service is great. But when you're on a trail like this, and I'll say it again, if you look over here, you see there's a lot of interference out here. There are a bunch of high voltage electric transmission lines. Oh yeah, beautiful. Oh yeah. And they greatly interfere with cell signals. I've noticed it happening more with 5G than when I used to be on 4G LTE. I could switch my phone to use only LTE while on these walks and see if that makes a difference. But I believe the 5G cell service is on a different band, is what they call them, right? And so that's what I think is causing it there. So maybe I'll just switch to LTE, because you can do that manually from the iPhone, and I think you can do that from Androids too, and see how that works. Absolutely beautiful, the scenery, not the towers, LOL. Well, you got to put the towers somewhere, or we're not going to have electricity in our homes, right? But I think you already knew that. So this is episode number 235. And the topic today is when you care too much about others, you lose the most important thing. When you care too much about others, you lose the most important thing. Now, I know many people that are into personal development and have, studied personal development for a while like I have. You're going to understand what I mean by this, right? And is there such a thing as caring too much about others? Doesn't that just make you a superb human being and someone that just loves everyone no matter what? Well, it does make you a great human being, right? But for people that focus the majority of their energy caring too much about others, they forget about the most important thing. And you know what I'm going to say? It's yourself, right? When you care too much about others, you lose the most important thing: self-love, self-appreciation, right? Okay? Self-happiness, right? You lose all that, right? And that's important to have to be able to truly care about other people, right? Nothing wrong with caring about others. Actually, that's the way all human beings should be. We should all care about people in general and care about humanity, right? But there are people that, just love the world so much and love other people so much, too much, to the point of where they care more about the other people than themselves. You know how I know that? I used to be that way when I was younger. And my lady is still like that at age 46. That's why her and I relate. That's why her and I are together. And that's why, despite a lot of the hardships that she's had within herself, with most other guys would have probably scared most guys away. It didn't scare me away, baby, because I relate to you. We're exactly the same. The difference is I've worked through all those issues in my younger days. And you are going to as well, like I said at the beginning of this show. And we'll update everyone when the time is right to share our stories. So that way we can help people work through these things as well, right? It used to be in my younger days where, I would always just focus on whatever it would take to make my friends happy, my family happy. I would do things that I felt they wanted me to do so I could never disappoint them, right? But after doing that for a while, what ended up happening? What really ended up happening? I really wasn't being myself. I wasn't being true to myself. And I started to realize that I wasn't, loving myself. I didn't care about myself. I cared more about making sure other people were happy and pleased than pleasing my own self and being happy myself, right? And when you're younger, that's something that you really don't understand, especially if you were raised, in a good family and you were raised with a mother that always taught you to be good to everyone, no matter what. Treat people the way you want to be treated, right? Which is true. You should be doing that, right? But what I didn't realize is that when you focus your entire life or your entire days on trying to figure out and doing whatever it takes, whatever you think it takes to please other people, then it comes at the expense of your happiness, takes a toll on you in all aspects of your life. But even worse, what happens to people like this that are truly givers, right? My lady's been through this. I've been through this in the past too. People take advantage of your kindness, right? Because they start to see your excessive, caring nature to the point of where you care more about people than yourself. People start to pick up on that, and then they take advantage of it, right? And many people took advantage of me and my kindness when I used to behave this way, right? And it wasn't until I realized what was going on and I changed my behavior that I turned my life around. That didn't really start happening until my early 30s. Late 20s, early 30s, but more so early 30s, right? Now in my 40s, I've perfected it, right? Or as close as possible, because nobody's perfect, right? And still to this day, I do care a lot about other people. And I will do whatever it takes to help other people. Even people in need, even people going through a lot of things like my lady's going through. Ooh. Yeah. Beautiful. A lot of people on the trail today. Another lady walking pretty fast in front of me. Listening to some music. I think she has AirPods on. Those expensive overpriced iPhone AirPods, the earbuds, right? I never buy any Apple accessories made by Apple. They're overpriced or too expensive. I'm not saying they're not good. They're fine. But you can always find good quality knockoffs or good quality Apple approved products from other companies. MiFi certified, made for iPhone. Now, she's not even going all the way. She's turning around. You got to go all the way to the observation deck and look at the beautiful scenery and get some extra mileage in the walk. It's all good. So yeah, I still care for people and I still go out of my way for people. The difference is I don't do things that affect my quality of life just to rescue others, right? I will still help people in the same ways I used to, and I still have the same heart and soul, but I don't do anything at the expense of my happiness, or I wouldn't do something to try to rescue someone that would put me in danger or affect my livelihood in any way, shape, or form. And in my younger days, I used to do that, right? I used to put myself in situations that I knew were wrong because I just wanted to please my friends. You know? I had friends back in those days that were smoking marijuana before it was legal to smoke for recreation purposes. And I knew hanging around them, if they were to get caught, I could probably go down with them even though I've never done marijuana, right? Or I used to hang out with friends. I used to like to drink a lot, right? So I felt like I had to drink to fit in when I didn't really want to, right? We've all done things to try to please others because, we care a lot about others and making our friends happy. And when we're younger and we don't realize what's going on, what's happening is we're doing things to try to please our friends to find happiness through that. And what we don't realize when we're younger is that happiness stems within. Everyone's happiness stems within themselves and how they see themselves, how they feel about themselves no matter what. Even when you're alone. I spend a lot of the days alone, right? I've got a great lady. We see each other once or twice a week. In the future, it'll be more often, and we may probably even move in together and do stuff like that, right? But in the meantime, I spend a lot of time alone. After doing my shows and my videos and running my business, right? And then talking with her. And I'm very content with that. I'm very, very content with that. You know why? Because I've learned to love who I am. I'm happy within myself. I don't need anyone to feel happy. Does that mean I don't want to be around people? No, then life would be boring, right? Now, my lady has told me, I go home sometimes and I'm bored and I do certain other things. I'm not going to mention any of those things. I'm going to save that for the show that we do down the road to help people, right? But my lady, after talking with me through text, most of these days, a phone call at night, she's worked, she's got other friends, that she hangs out with every now and then. She got family calling her. She's got a lot of love, right? She goes home, and after I talk with her, she's bored. Or even an hour before she goes to bed. And I'm like, babe, any hour I can get to myself, no disrespect to you, I love spending time with you. Any hour I can get, for myself, peace and quiet is golden. I rejuvenate the body, mind, and soul, and the heart, right? But a lot of people that have gone through a lot of trauma in life have a hard time understanding that, because whenever they're alone, they think about that trauma and the misery it's brought them, right? And then they end up doing other things to mask that trauma, right? Which further sets them back. Now, again, I'm not going to go into detail. Some of you may be able to figure out what's going on. It's up to you. We're going to talk more about that in the future podcast, which I'll put out here on YouTube and maybe on some other platforms too. It's going to be a really, really good show. And maybe I'll start doing something regular with my lady in podcast style. Because this woman is intelligent. She's one of the smartest women that I've met. She's one of the most nurturing women I've met. She's got like 9 lives, maybe 19 lives, based on what she's been through. We'll share more about that. I'm not trying to laugh. I'm just like, this woman is amazing. And I'm not trying to put her on a pedestal or kiss her ass. This woman is amazing, and she just doesn't realize it. She just doesn't see it. You know how I know that? I used to not see that in myself. Humbly speaking, I know what I'm worth. And I know what I have to offer the world, regardless of what anyone says. Trolls are. There's somebody at the observation deck. Nap up there. Let's see if we can zoom in. So we're not going to go up there and disturb observation deck. It's off limits. All right, let's start heading back. It's really a beautiful day. Couldn't ask for a better day, I'll tell you that. $12 people here, 8 thumbs up. Thank you so much. I think that's 8. Am I seeing that right? If you're here, if you just got here, folks, and you haven't had a chance to thumb up the stream, please smash that like button. Like it. Please share this out. You know, if you have a community tab on YouTube, share it on your community tabs. Share it out on Facebook, on your timeline, through any group pages you're a part of. Tweet it out on Twitter. Share it out on LinkedIn or any other social media platform. Discord, Facebook Messenger, Google Chat, formerly known as Google Hangouts. Let me come over here for a second. Hey. And even Reddit, don't forget Reddit. There are forums like Reddit that are a great place to share this type of content. I really want to help as many men and women as possible turn their lives around and be the best possible versions of themselves they can be. Through my trials and tribulations, my past experiences, my fuck-ups, my mistakes, right? And I made plenty of them. Plenty. And I keep making some every now and then. I'm human, right? But I've learned so much about so many things at a business and personal level that I can help spare the heartache for many of you. At least limit the heartache so you don't have to go through as much as I went through, right? You can figure it out a lot sooner and better yourselves, right? Gosh, that sun. There's a plane there. I don't know if I'm even capturing the plane. It's about to go right under the sun. I really can't see a thing. I think I got part of it. All right. All right. So, you know, some examples that I've shared in the past on some in-studio streams when I first met my lady and I was talking about this. I've never done a specific topic on this actual subject we're talking about here today, but I've shared a lot of stuff in between streams. It's just that if you really want people to find you on YouTube, you got to create certain topics and focus on those topics. It's called, you know, target marketing, right? You want to find your right target audience that's looking for this, right? So they can seek and find you, right? So my lady is just such a giving woman. She's so giving, like she will give up her life for anyone. I used to be that way, like I said a bit ago. And, you know, as a lady, it affects her more than it affected me because she's an emotional being. Like I've always said, women are emotional beings. They respond to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling in the present moment. And then they reason with logic afterwards, right? So, you know, it's one thing for me to have gone through this in my younger days and being a man. And I'm not saying I don't have emotions. I do. But men process emotions differently, right? And they're not as affected emotionally as women usually, right? Now, there are some men that are, and those are men that are more feminized. But any strong man like myself, you know, is going to be able to work through emotional stuff a little bit easier than women can, right? No disrespect, just the way it is. Well, my lady has done so much for people her entire life. She spends money she doesn't have to make her friends happy, to make her friends' babies happy, right? She basically goes out of her way to hang out with people and drive 2-3 hours to hang out with friends that have moved away, right? Burns herself out, makes all this effort, right? And it's noble. I get it. I used to be that way. It's noble, right? But what happens? What happens when you give that much? Even though you shouldn't really expect anything in return, you kind of do expect at least for the person to appreciate you or the people to appreciate you that you're going that far out of your way for. But what usually happens, people take you for granted, right? So this used to happen to me all the time in my younger days. People would take me for granted. The nicer I was, the more I went out of my way for people at the expense of my happiness, the more they took me for granted, right? So that's what's been happening to you, babe. People have been taking you for granted, and you're realizing that, right? But when you're in that moment and giving, and people not being, people not reciprocating or at least acknowledging it the right way, right? You feel like you've been taken for granted, and it hurts. It sucks. It hits you emotionally. It makes you feel sad. It makes you want to cry, right? Makes you wonder, am I not good enough for them? No, you are great for them. The problem is they're not good enough for you because they're not appreciating how kind and genuine and generous of a person you are, right? That's what I've been trying to get through to my lady, right? And many other people that are in a similar situation. Most people will learn this lesson by the time they reach their early 30s. Throughout their 20s, they'll have those experiences, and then you'll figure this shit out by your late 20s, early 30s. But some people, it takes into their 30s and 40s, and even 50s to start to really figure it out, right? Because everyone's had a different upbringing. Some people have experienced a lot in life at a young age, and other people didn't experience as much because they ended up getting married really young and they weren't able to explore the world before getting married to figure this shit out. That's what happened to my lady. She got married at 19 or 20. And she was pregnant at that age. And so she wasn't able to explore the world and go through all the shit I went through in my 20s and early 30s, right? To be able to figure this out. So in essence, what's been happening, right? She's been divorced now for I think like 13 years. And what's happening? Babe, listen to this. This is going to make a lot of sense. You're going to have your mind blown. And I'm not trying to say I'm all that, but look at this. Okay? She got married and was pregnant at 19, right? So 11 years between 19 and 30, right? It's been 13 years, I believe, since her divorce, right? Most people figure this shit out after experiencing these things in their teens and 20s by their early to mid 30s, 30, 31, 32. So look at it this way. If she didn't get married and didn't get pregnant at a young age, and we add 13 years to 19, by age 32, she would have figured this whole thing out, would have gotten married with a decent guy. Maybe she would have met me. Maybe her and I would have had a family, right? What I'm saying is that at some point in your life, you end up going through all of these things where you're such a giver and people take advantage of you. And you realize people start taking you for granted, and you don't figure it out, until you've gone through it a bunch of times. It typically takes, a decade or so to go through something like this, right? And that's what's happening to my lady right now, because until she got divorced 13 years ago or so, she really didn't have a lot of life experience besides, the man that she was dating in her teens, who was a little older than her, and then he got her pregnant, and then they got married, and, she lacked the experience. So now she's been trying to figure out everything that she would have figured out in her teens and 20s had she not gotten pregnant and gotten married at a young age, right? I'm not saying it was a bad thing for her to get married and and have kids. You know, that's the way it used to be in the days of traditionalism. Women were getting married in their late teens and, early 20s. But now it's not the way it goes. Women now are getting married in their late 20s, early 30s because they're going to college, getting a degree, and figuring out life. And in the meantime, they're writing the CC. You know what the CC is? The carousel, right? We're not going to say the other word and get demonetized, right? Now, my woman is not the type of woman, at least, baby, I don't think you were the kind of woman that would have written the CC. You know what the CC is, babe? The carousel. The lower male region carousel, right? I can't say the word, I'll get demonetized, right? Got to speak in code out here on YouTube, right? Are you folks able to still see me and hear me? Let me know. Lewis or anyone around? I gotta share a funny story right now. This was like 2 months or so into dating my woman, right? Her and I both actually love 90s country. And the 90s country was the absolute best, right? And she was already going through some things, and I had noticed that in the first 2 months, and I was always just trying to cheer her up and make her feel better, right? And I joke around a lot, right? And I knew she was really into me, right? So I was kind of messing with her, right? There's a country song, I can't remember who sings it. Let me come over here and let this person pass. There's a country song called "I'm Gonna Find Me and You, Way to Light Up an Old Flame." So I started just singing to her, and I YouTubed it, and I played it through my car speakers. I'm gonna find me and you, way to light up an old flame, and it did trigger her. And babe, that was the point. I was trying to make you laugh, right? Because I know how into me you are. I'm into you too, babe. Don't get me wrong, but I just wanted to give you a good laugh, right? Yeah, I can be a little asshole at times, and I can be a little bit of a tease and stuff. But you got to make life interesting, right? And she knew I was messing with her, but in spite of everything else she's been through with the trauma she's experienced, I should have probably thought twice before singing that song as a joke, because I'm not looking to find a new way to light up an old flame. I'm happy with the flame I've got right now. Right? Just a side note. Folks, please smash the thumbs up. We've got 9 people here, 9 thumbs up. Ooh, a nice plane. Oh, that's a beaut. That old bar stool's feeling higher as I started sinking lower. Minute that she walked right through that door. Not long ago I left her. Not long ago I held her. Sorry, like a fool I went and left her. Now she's with somebody new out on the floor. Yep, she's got the rhythm and I got the blues. And she's showing me how much I had to lose, right? Little Alan Jackson. With her every little step, she's telling me I'm over you. She's got the rhythm, and I got the blues. Yeah, that's how I felt a couple of relationships ago. It happens, right? It happens when you listen to those songs, right? You hear those songs later on down the road, years down the road, right? When you're over it, right? And you're like, shit, man, I screwed up, right? Song makes sense. She's got the rhythm and I got the blues, right? Yeah. So that's the thing, folks. That's why I put the poll in the chat. Do you love yourself? Can anyone see the results of the poll? Lewis or anyone else? I wonder if you folks can see me. I'm going to go off the air. I have a feeling that the chat's stuck. I'll be right back. Yep. Just as I thought, the chat was probably stuck. Joe Diffie, that's right. He's dead now. Well, no. Joe Diffie was I'm Gonna Find Me and You Would Light Up an Old Flame. But she's got the rhythm and I got the blues. That's Alan Jackson. I was a big Alan Jackson fan. You're right, Joe Diffie. The same guy that would sing Prop Me Up Besides the Jukebox If I Die. Lord, I want to go to heaven, but I don't want to go tonight, right? Fill my boots up with sand. Put a stiff drink in my hand. No, thank you. I don't need a stiff drink. I want to stay healthy. Prop me up besides the jukebox if I die. And he's dead now. Joe Diffie, man, he was a bit out of shape. I have a feeling that his weight, had something to do with his young death. Probably had diabetes, right? All those country guys, a lot of those hillbillies, they like to drink a lot of alcohol and eat a lot of fried chicken and stuff like that, fried foods, right? They don't exercise, right? But I was a big Joe Diffie fan too. Let me see. Welcome back. Thank you. Well, what was the way that song started, right? It's a great song. Well, I ain't afraid of dying. It's the thought of being dead, right? Yeah, and the dude. I wonder when Joe Diffie died if they did prop him up beside the jukebox. Man, that would have been the best respectful tribute to Joe Diffie and his legendary music. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Such a great day. Somebody's walking behind me probably at the same pace because they haven't been catching up to me. But I'm probably going to just pull on over here and let them pass. I don't really like having people behind me. I don't think anybody does. The sun is so beautiful. Highway 101. It's Sunday. Traffic's flowing smoothly. People going out and enjoying the day. Hopefully your day is amazing. Oh, that's a plane that's making a wide right turn. Yeah, it's an older guy in his 70s or maybe early 80s. It's really nice to see, older people, senior citizens out here on the trail. That's how you stay healthy and fit and you live a long and prosperous life. All right, let's get back on the trail here. Start heading back. Ooh, I'm feeling a little bit of a tummy ache. I had a light snack before I hit the trail to get a little energy, right? And I'm already feeling it. Maybe it's because my stomach was so empty. Folks, it's all about self-love, self-appreciation, being happy deep within. That's the biggest deal. I keep preaching that. I'm going to continue to preach that all day, every day, until people understand that your happiness starts within you. It stems within yourself, right? You have no one else to blame for your unhappiness or your happiness except yourself, right? If you have to count on other people of the world for your happiness, I'm sorry to tell you, you're going to be very disappointed. I used to count on my friends and being around other people all the time and always feeling the need to, be out doing something instead of staying home and relaxing. I used to count on that for my happiness. And if I couldn't make anything happen, yeah, I myself also felt bored and lonely and miserable. So babe, and other women and men that are going through this, I understand why you feel the way you feel, right? But another way how I occupied my time is when I was younger, I started really getting into computers. I grew up with computers. I grew up here in Silicon Valley where they were created, right? And where all these high-tech companies are at, right? I was born here. So when I, wouldn't have anything to do, I was done with my homework and, some friends didn't want to hang out, I would tinker on the computer. And I made lots of online friends. I, started to learn the computer underground and, started to, use file sharing sites even before they were mainstream, even before you folks remember Napster and all those MP3 file sharing sites before they all got shut down. And now we have iTunes and, Google Play and all that. And we have so many digital services where you can legally obtain music. But back in those days, I was on the forefront when the MP3 file was created and you could smush down the size of a high quality CD quality type of file. They call it a WAV file, right? And a WAV file, I believe, is 1,536 kilobits per second, which I believe is about, 1.5 megabytes per second, right? And that would mean that for every 1 minute of digital music you would rip off of a CD, they would call it CD ripping, right? You would, basically put a CD in your CD-ROM drive, right? Or your DVD drive or your DVD burner drive, right? And you would convert it to a WAV file, right? An uncompressed file, for every minute of music was about 10 megabytes. So they needed to find a way to squish that down to like 1 megabyte, right? So what did they do? They created MP3, right? And depending on the bit rate, the standard bit rate was 128 kilobits, about 1/10 or so the size of the regular of the full uncompressed sound file, right? So, all right, I'm back. Sorry about that. So like I was saying, you had to use these FTP programs, and you had to know what IP Internet Protocol address to type in and the username and password to download, music. And it was basically like peer-to-peer, right? Decentralized peer-to-peer. And I connected with so many people, like I was able to get all the top hits and, whether it's country or, mainstream pop or whatever, right? Full albums, the top hits, everything, right? I was dating a woman at that time, and when we were hanging out, that's when and the MP3 player hadn't really come out yet at that point. We still had CD players in our cars, and you had to burn the CD. You had to burn all these. You had to convert these MP3 files to WAV, and then you had to burn them onto a CD so that way you can play it through your car CD player. So I created this CD with the latest hip hop hits, right? High quality everything, right? And my woman at that time really liked that music. We were going down to Monterey, and I was playing this CD with all the latest hip hop hits, and she's like, "Where did you get that CD? Like, that's all the latest hits and everything." She's like, and I'm like, "I made it." Well, how did you make it? Did you buy all those CDs and just, no, the internet, there's a new way to trade files on the internet and stuff like that. Like, this was like a super mix of all the top current hip hop hits in high quality, right? So it was things like that. I basically, in order to occupy myself during times where I would have been bored, lonely, etc., until I got older and figured out, it was all in my head, right? I immersed myself in learning things, especially computers. Not only how to do things on the internet and what the internet is capable of doing, audio, video, still pictures, blogging, etc., right? But I also learned how to repair computers internally, how to upgrade them with RAM, which is memory, hard drives, processors, upgrading them, replacing your battery if it gets old, sound cards, etc. Video cards, which are now known as graphics cards. We used to call graphics cards video cards. They're basically, they still are a video card. But the reason why they call them graphics cards nowadays is because most people that have high-end, graphics cards or video cards are using them for gaming graphics, right? If you're not a gamer, you really don't need a graphics card because most processors today, they have a built-in graphics processor, just like the Intel chips have Intel QuickSync. I still recommend having a backup. I still recommend having a graphics card, like I do in my new laptop. Even though it has Intel QuickSync, also it's like having two graphics cards because it does help you speed up video rendering, and it just helps some other things run smoother. But unless you're doing like video rendering and playing games, you don't even really need a graphics card or video card. You can just use your processor's built-in video card if you want to save the money. But I recommend a graphics card. So I immersed myself in learning anything and everything about computers. And it occupied so much of my time to the point of where, until my friends would reach out, I would wait for my friends to reach out and want to hang out. And when they would want to, reach out and hang out, I would, stop, working on my computer, and I would go out, have fun, and then come back and continue learning everything I could about computers. That's how I learned to cure the blues and, started to focus more on, making myself happy. It's something that made me happy. And I think this is what my lady's been struggling with, and a lot of people struggle with. What can you do to keep yourself happy when other people can't be around during certain times? After you get off work, you go home, you got nothing to do, and you're tired of watching the same shit on Netflix or, any other streaming service, right? You have to immerse yourself in something you enjoy doing for yourself. Now, so how do I fulfill that time now? Doing this This is why I love what I do so much out here on YouTube and through my coaching business. I love these videos. I look forward to them each and every day. When I even take a day off or two to spend with my lady or do other things, yes, I do need that time off. It's a change of pace, right? And you need to recoup and recharge. But I miss it. When I don't do it even for a day, I miss it because I love it that much. This is what occupies my time. I enjoy doing this. And it fulfills me, right? So you gotta find things that fulfill you within yourself and you love so much, independent of anything else you have going on in your life, independent of your relationship or marriage. All right, just waiting for that guy to go by. He's wearing trail runners. Can I even see? Yeah, those are trail runners. Perfect for this trail. You immerse yourself in something that you love. You just have to figure out what that is. And once you do, it'll occupy you so much that any downtime you have where you would have been normally bored, you'll just automatically do this thing that you love. Anytime that I'm not tired or not seeing my woman or not hanging out with family or friends, right? I'm creating content, whether it be on a mobile stream on a walk, whether it be a live stream from the studio, or a pre-recorded video from my phone or the studio. So I always have something to do to keep me occupied. At the same time, though, you got to take breaks and you've got to balance it out. Because no matter how much you love something, no matter how much I love what I do out here on YouTube and my coaching business, you got to give the body time to rest and recover. You got to pace yourself, right? And once you are so in tune with your life like I've become, especially in my 40s, you're going to be able to balance your life out perfectly, automatically, without even realizing it. It's just going to become a habit. It's a habit you're going to form. We are at 74 minutes, an hour and 14 minutes. I'm not sleepy tired, but I'm actually feeling like I got a good enough workout without having to go on the other side today. So I don't even know if I'm going to go on the other side today. I've been really, really pushing myself for the last couple of weeks. Instead of doing just over 3 miles on my walks each day, I've been doing 4+ miles. And yes, it has become more beneficial, because I am, one of my goals, hopefully by the end of this year or by summer, is to tone up my stomach. I don't really have any fat on there, just a little bit, but I want to try to get that 6-pack. Not easy. I get down to like 10% body fat. I think I'm like at 12 or 13 right now. And it's not easy. So maybe I should push myself. All right, should be back. Just gonna wait. There's somebody coming. I'm gonna wait. That woman behind me is walking at a very, very slow and gingerly pace. Like, it would literally take her, at the pace she's going, it would literally take her over twice as long as it's taking me to walk this entire trail while holding a selfie stick and camera and doing a live stream. Well, maybe she's got some tight muscles and stuff and she doesn't want to overextend herself. There's always a reason why people walk at the pace they walk. It has to do with the physical condition they're in. Maybe they're trying to get in better physical condition. I've been doing this for decades, so I'm like used to this. And this trail, it's not a big deal. It's just a walking trail that looks like a hiking trail in the wetlands. And then there's a guy that just passed me up who's walking with a major limp, with no disrespect intended, on one side of his body. And he probably herniated a disc or has sciatica. It's not a laughing matter because I was limping like hell when I first had sciatica. And the doctors say walking is the best thing you can do for it. It is, because you move the muscles around, right? You work the muscles. And that's what it takes. It's beautiful. Water's glistening. Let's continue. Folks, walking is really, really good for you and your muscles. If you can find time to walk even a mile or two each and every day, or at least every other day, it will make a difference in how you feel, how you look, and it'll keep you healthy from a muscular standpoint. Trust me, if I didn't walk as much as I did, especially after herniating a disc and pinching a nerve, I wouldn't have healed as quickly. I can smell the sulfur. It smells like fart. Sulfur, salt, right? From the sea salt, right? Folks, get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We've got probably another 20 minutes or so before we go off the air, maybe 20, 25 at the most. Hey, we got 10 thumbs up. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. 7 people here. I wish somebody would tell me how the polls do and I can't see it. Oh, here are some past messages. I can't take the suspense, LOL. Can you give a little more hints? I love when people have great stuff happen to them. It's always so nice to have someone that believes in you. Okay, Lewis says, I put the Ukraine flag in all my Facebook Messenger groups to let Ukraine know that we're thinking about you, supporting you in these hard times. Absolutely. Sweet P 1985 says, that's awesome. If you're watching Eli's Lady, great job powering through life struggles. Yeah. And then one more. I missed all these messages because sometimes the chat freezes up when I have these reception issues out here. Sweet P 1985 says, that is so true. I lost myself in my last relationship because I cared too much about what he thought. I did everything to try and make him happy, and I just made myself miserable. Yeah. Hey, not to derail the stream, but I remember you saying your lady was having some issues with her coworkers. Did that get worked out? Yeah, I mean, kind of, sort of. That's not the main thing right now, but it's retail. And that's nice. It's not really affecting her, that much. It's a part of what's affecting her, but there are other things, and I'm going to share that or save that for the podcast that we do. I'm such a people pleaser that I've done some questionable things, nothing illegal, but I definitely have learned to please me first. I really hope she decides to come on stream with you. I can't see anything, Coach. Just a black screen. I wish I could see it, but your screen is off. I had gotten married at 23 and was divorced at 25. By the way, Eli, we still can't see anything. We can hear you, but not see you. That's a Joe Diffie song. Oh, so the same thing happened that happened the other time, is that the screen was off. Is the screen back on right now? I hate when that happens. That's like a YouTube app issue. Okay, I think I caught up now. I think I'm all caught up, and I think everything, the video is back. So yeah, if you were watching earlier, and if any time on these live streams, the screen turns black, it's just an issue between the app and the reception out here. Yeah, it sucks when it goes black, but thanks for letting me know. It's probably black for a little while. Yeah, that's what you deal with, you know, when you know you're in an area that has a lot of electrical interference, and you're relying on the cell towers to, you know, send your signal out. And again, I think it's the 5G towers. I didn't have as many issues with LTE, but they're on. The LTE band is on a different spectrum than the 5G, and that's what I think it is. I mean, I may have to just use LTE. I can turn off 5G on these streams. But you figured they would have taken all that into consideration before deploying, you know, 5G. But anyway, hopefully you can all see me. If anyone's still there, let me know if you can see me. Let me turn this off and come back, because maybe it's freezing again. Yeah, so I don't think anyone was chatting. I don't think it was frozen because I just came back. It should be all good. So yeah, like Sweet Pea 1985 was saying earlier, don't be a people pleaser. Okay, be nice to people, be good to people, right? But don't overdo it. Okay. Nothing wrong with giving to anyone you feel like giving to, right? But always give without expectation. And don't give because you think that's the way people are going to want to spend more time with you because you're lonely and that'll cure your blues. I think that's what my lady has gone through. Maybe that's something you went through, Sweet Pea. Like you would do things probably for your ex just to keep him happy, to keep him around, to keep him from leaving you, right? But you've realized as you've gotten older that why would you want to keep a guy around that you had to do things that you didn't want to do just to keep him around, right? Why would you want that, right? My lady, you know, told me when she was younger, because she went through some abandonment issues. I've shared about that before on an in-studio public stream. And that's part of, you know, what's affected her today. But, I mean, it really wasn't as bad as other abandonment issues, but it was still bad enough that affected her, right? To the point of where she was telling me, you know, when this guy paid her attention at age 19, you know, she, you know, felt like nobody would want her, so she settled for him, right? Beautiful woman. Right? She's beautiful now. At 19, man. I don't want to say anything, get demonetized. I would have loved to see you at 19, babe. No weirdness, and that's still an adult, right? I mean, she was probably super hot, and I'm not saying she's not hot for 46. She looks great. For 46, I don't look the same as I did, you know, at 19. But, you know, her and I both still look as good as possible. But at 19, right, she was probably a knockout. Right? and felt like she wasn't, right? She felt like nobody would want her, so she settled. Give me a second, I'm passing through some people here. It looks like the observation deck is clear. I wonder if that trash was picked up. If that trash is still there and nobody's picked it up, I would have picked it up. But I've got my camera and selfie stick. I just can't hold anything. And my pockets are full. I have a battery, external battery in my pocket, and keys and other stuff. Let's see if somebody was kind enough to get rid of that trash. Oh, they did. It's gone. There are a lot of good people that believe in protecting nature and keeping it clean. Ah, wonderful. Folks, get your questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air in about 10 to 15 minutes. It's just beautiful. Got 8 people here, 10 thumbs up. Please like, share, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications. You can share this on your community walls, community tabs. Share it out on Facebook, tweet it out on Twitter, share it out on LinkedIn. Share it through your Discords, share it through Reddit, share it through Facebook Messenger, Google Chat, formerly known as Google Hangouts. Share it wherever you can share something, folks. I really want to build a community here that's positive and uplifting, that's going to truly help people accomplish whatever it is that their hearts desire, and also help people become the best version of themselves they can be. Because you're already good enough. Some of you just don't know it. You're already good enough, but like I said, some of you just don't know it, right? I can help you learn to see it and accept it and thrive off of it and become even better than you already are. You're all more than capable, and it's a choice. It's a choice. And you can easily choose to be better. I'm going to keep inspiring you folks to become better each and every day. You know, there are many people on YouTube that do life coaching and, you know, something similar like this, right? But there's no one that does it the way I do it. There's no one that comes out here each and every day, or almost each and every day, to try to motivate you and uplift you in real time. That shares my truth in real time, right? Yeah, I do some pre-recorded videos, and I'm going to do a lot more, but I do a lot of live content because I want to share things with you folks in real time. And I want to answer your questions and help you through things in real time, right? How many other coaches do the coaching in real time? Not Coach Corey Wayne. He's never done a live stream. Not Dan Bacon, who I like to. He's never done a live stream either. Very few coaches do live streams. And other coaches that do live streams are more like drama, manosphere, MGTOW, men going their own way, red pill content, which is practically guys that are anti-woman, and they're all about game and hooking up and using women for sex and stuff like that, right? I'm not about that. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people may want something casual or whatever, you know, to each its own, right? But my content's more primarily catered to people, to men and women that want to live a good life in an honest, genuine, and ethical way. You want to work, you know, a good job that you feel good about for a reputable company, or you want to start your own business and become an entrepreneur, self-employed, and run an honest and ethical business. And then on the side of your relationship, on the other side, which is your relationship, I want to help you folks find the man or woman of your dreams. And be loyal and honest and faithful to them. And they'll be that way to you in return. That's the good life, right? that life is meant to be enjoyed. None of this hooking up or cheating, you know, none of this BS, right? There's too much of it, right? I want to help people remove all drama from their lives. Now, removing it 100% is impossible because there's always going to be people trying to infiltrate you and project onto you online and offline, right? But maybe learn to minimize it or learn to handle it better so you don't let it affect your attitude. And that way you can focus more of your energy on moving yourself forward in the positive way instead of going after people that are just coming at you because that's how they see themselves. It's a direct reflection of how they see themselves, right? All they're doing is projecting their misery onto you. If you can learn to understand that, nothing they say to you is going to trigger you. That's the truth. This is typically where I get cut off, coming up here right before this bench. If I keep moving, I may not get cut off, or it may cut me off when I get to the bridge over there. But expect a cut off coming in just a few here. We are at 92 minutes, which is an hour and 32 minutes minus a few cutoffs. An hour and a half, hour 30, 31, 32. That's where we're at, somewhere around there. I don't know. I may even come back tonight and do something from the studio. I don't know if it's going to be Dating Advice for Men and Women, Volume 11. Or who knows? Maybe I might just do a Coach Eli sermon. Maybe I'll create Coach Eli's sermons or something like that, where I just talk myself in the camera for 30 to 60 minutes and answer your questions in the chat. Who knows? I've got energy and I don't feel like calling it a day yet. Had a really good day earlier today talking with my lady, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show. And I really, really, really do feel she's going to turn things around that she's been struggling with deep within for a very long time, for decades. But at least especially for the last 13 years since her divorce. But this stems back before that time into her childhood and her teens. It's more of a lack of experience, babe, and women that got married young, had kids young. It's more of a lack of experience because while the rest of us were out experiencing life, dating, but going through breakups and not getting married that young, we learned all the stuff that you're finally learning now. Nothing wrong with that. You were just doing something different at that time that you felt was the right thing to do and that you felt was making you happy at that time, right? Yeah. It's just really, really beautiful out here today. I mean, it's always beautiful out here, but just the weather is perfect. And just, there's not a whole lot of water. It just looks amazing. The lighting is perfect. If you wanted to shoot a YouTube video out here today, you wouldn't even need one of those soft boxes like you do in the studio, right? Or in a building, right? The sun today is perfect for video recording. All right, we've got 5 in the box, 11 thumbs up. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate it, folks. I'm very grateful and thankful for the people that are truly supporting this channel here. Before I start to head out, whether you're here live or if you're live, you can only do this while I'm live. If you feel like supporting this channel, folks, monetarily, because this channel is primarily for the time being funded through crowdfunding, you can go to the bottom and click on that $sign. That's the super chat and super sticker. You can send a super sticker, so you can send a super chat in any amount up to $500, I believe. You type out your message. The more you donate, the longer the message will stay highlighted at the top of the chat. If you'd rather just send an animated Giphy or picture, You can send a super sticker, and I believe the most you can send through super sticker is 50 or $100. You can just click on it and see for yourself. Or if you would prefer to not give Google and YouTube 30% of the money, because when you super chat or super sticker or become a channel member, I have channel memberships too. YouTube and Google get 30% of the revenue, and I get 70. Not bad for the convenience, but if you choose to, send via PayPal or Cash App, the fees are much less. PayPal is right around 3%, and then Cash App is similar. Nightbot is sharing my PayPal, Cash App links every 7 minutes in the chat, or if you're here on the replay, it's below in the description as well, my PayPal and Cash App links. Donations are not required, but they are greatly appreciated. But what I would more so appreciate than even your money, I know many of you cannot afford to donate. At least the audience I currently have right now, I know many of you are not in the position to donate, because I know you would if you could. Okay. But what's even more, what would even be more appreciated than money is just sharing this out. Share it out through your social media. Okay. Share it out on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Share it out through any private group pages you have on Facebook or LinkedIn or on Reddit or wherever you're at. It doesn't take that long. If you're getting value from this message and it's helping you, you should automatically know it would help other people too. Help me help other people. I would really appreciate that. And you know what? I'm not too proud to ask for help. Okay? I am proud of what I do, and I do have pride. But I'm one that can swallow my pride and ask for help. If this is going to go anywhere, folks, then trust me, this needs to go somewhere. People need to hear this message. I'm going to need your help to get it there. And I would appreciate that. And in return, whatever within reason I can do to give back to you, I will help you as well. Folks, get your questions, comments, or concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air in less than 5 minutes. Heading back to my car. We are at 99 minutes, an hour and 39 minutes, minus a couple cutoffs or so, an hour and 37, 38, or 39, something like that. Wow. I'm getting faster and faster at doing 4 miles on this trail each and every day like I used to before I herniated my disc and got my sciatica. That's great because I get it done faster, get similar benefit, and can get off to doing other things much sooner. Please also, vote on the poll. I'm not sure if the polls will show on the replay or will allow you to, make a choice on the replay. I'll find out and let you know in the future. I'm just curious to see how many people voted on the poll and what percentage chose yes to loving themselves and what percentage chose no to loving themselves. I would not be surprised if I got more people choosing no, I don't love myself. Because I know all the trolls and haters, they don't love themselves. But I also have a lot of good people here that have worked through a lot of things that I've worked through and have gotten to the place or close to the place of where I'm at in my happiness and in your happiness. And you're going to choose, yes, I do love myself, right? And if you're in the middle, you kind of love yourself, but you kind of don't, choose yes because you're on your way. And as long as you're on your way, that's all that matters. this guy move here. Another guy came off a different part of the trail. There's a section over here that cuts me off. These transmission lines, they run right above. So I'm going to have to wrap this up here in a second, folks. Let me just come over here and wrap it up over here because I want to stay out of the dead zone that cuts me off. So again, I might do something from the studio tonight. I don't know what's going to be, dating advice for men and women, volume 11. I think I said 10 earlier. I did 10 the other day. It's volume 11. It would be volume 11. Or if I just do, like a sermon, Coach Eli sermon or something like that, where I just talk about something else. I have a lot of things to talk about. There's a lot on my mind. A lot of things have been going on. Just so much to talk about. It's just all about finding the right time and energy to do it, and being there for my lady also who's going through some things, and being there for my family. I mean, I do have a lot going on in my personal life, and I share what I can, and other things I don't share. I used to be too transparent with what I shared out here on YouTube, and then all these trolls and haters started making content off of it, and just started trying to ruin my life as a form of entertaining their audience. And I really watch what I say now. And here's the thing, when you're a public figure, people can look you up and they can figure out what you're doing anyway. So it doesn't really matter. What matters is staying on course and not going back and forth with them and feeding into them like I used to. All right, we're back. Let's see, it's just this area. It's just this area. Like I said, there are certain things that these trolls and haters won't know about unless I mention it. So I'm really careful with what I mention now. I think twice, right? I'm still as transparent as possible. And at some point, a lot of these things that I don't talk about now, I will talk about in the future. It's just not the right time. It's all about timing as well. So with that being said, I may be back later tonight from the studio. Maybe not. If not, I'll definitely be back tomorrow. Please like, share, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications. Have yourselves a great one. And I'll catch you on the flip side. And as always, you know what I say at the end of each video. Be good to each other.